Dear listeners, thank you for tuning into my podcast again. Today we delve into a mysterious topic, the secrets of Atlantis, a subject that goes far beyond simple urban legends. Over 10,000 years ago, an ancient civilization was destroyed. With the deepening exploration of the Sahara Desert, the so-called Eye of the Sahara, a massive circular geographical feature, and the surrounding evidence of past floods, along with sediment layers found at the bottom of the Atlantic, all suggest that the story of Atlantis might be more than just a legend. On June 3, 1965, the United States launched the Gemini IV mission. 2 astronauts stayed in space for 4 days, conducted humanity's second spacewalk, and took a photograph of the Eye of the Sahara, shocking the world. It matched Plato's description of Atlantis, sparking urban legends. It's said Atlantis had advanced technology, but its continent sank, and its civilization's remains were lost at sea. Now, the astronauts' photograph from space seems to reveal its ancient ruins, hidden in the Sahara Desert. Does this mean Atlantis truly existed? 2 years later, the U.S. Navy conducted a highly classified mission, whose files were declassified in 2004. A U.S. military independent investigator named Jimmy Corsetti discovered why the Navy was so interested in the Eye of the Sahara. The declassified files revealed a secret project about collecting geomagnetic data to support geomagnetic mapping, advanced navigation systems, space programs, and more. Especially, they conducted a detailed investigation of the reignited structure, also known as the Eye of the Sahara. Clearly, this area not only attracted public interest, but also significant attention from the U.S. military. The declassified files suggest the Navy might have discovered some crucial clues. Some parts of the file were redacted, including information about a secret data receiving device, and parts of the investigation that might be opened to the global scientific community, further sparking public curiosity about the clues to Atlantis. These mysterious redacted contents, along with Jimmy's speculations about the non-scientific aspects of the redactions, have raised more questions and curiosity. The secrets of Atlantis are like a bottomless mystery, motivating Jimmy to continue digging deeper into its truth. About 2,600 years ago, Solon, a philosopher from ancient Greece, encountered an Egyptian priest during his travels in Egypt. In a grand and dimly lit ancient temple, the priest shared with Solon an old legend, the story of Atlantis. Back then, the seas were navigable, and a formidable army had advanced eastward, confidently conquering all of Europe and even parts of Asia. Beyond what the Greeks knew as the Pillars of Hercules, there was a place called Nessus, from where that army originated. Atop Nessus, there existed a powerful and mysterious league of kingdoms called Atlantis. This league ruled over Nessus, as well as many other islands and parts of continents. Solon's conversation with the priest lasted an entire afternoon. Yet, what exactly was Nessus? How were the seas navigable at that time? Where were the Pillars of Hercules? And what constituted that great and magical power? About 140 years later, Herodotus, known as the father of Greek history, visited Egypt again, only to find the temples in ruins and the pyramids covered by sand. The priests, who once held ancient wisdom, had aged. The knowledge of that ancient world became fragmented information in Herodotus's hands. Fortunately, these fragments were eventually organized by Herodotus into the oldest world map. To the east, the map depicted India, ancient tombs, valleys inhabited by cyclopes, and endless unknown deserts. To the south lay the unexplored regions of Ethiopia and Libya, and to the north, vast unknown territories and winding rivers. To the west, surprisingly, was the term Pillars of Hercules, which today refers to the Strait of Gibraltar and Atlantis beyond the Pillars of Hercules. Unfortunately, on Herodotus's map, there seemed to be nothing beyond the Pillars of Hercules. However, upon closer inspection, just south of the Strait of Gibraltar, the names Atlas and Atlantis were clearly marked. So what exactly did Herodotus discover back then? As time passed, another century quietly slipped away. When Plato, the great philosopher of ancient Greece, retold this historical narrative, he mentioned that, although he had never set foot in Egypt, he meticulously compiled the accounts of Solon and Herodotus about Egypt and passed down the legend of Atlantis to future generations. Plato described the story of Atlantis as follows. Firstly, the destruction of Atlantis occurred about 9,000 years before Solon's time, which is approximately 11,600 years ago. Secondly, the so-called Great and Wondrous Power referred to a technology far more advanced than anything available at that time. Thirdly, the ruler of Atlantis was named Atlas, the son of the sea god Poseidon. The League of Kings not only included Atlas, but also many other offspring of deities, who together ruled over many advanced countries like Atlantis. Lastly, due to its hubris, Atlantis launched a grand war. Just as they were about to conquer ancient Athens, Zeus, the king of gods, unleashed an earth-shattering earthquake and tsunami, destroying this proud civilization overnight, turning it into a place that ships could not reach. In common legends, Atlantis is described as a huge island that sank beneath the sea. However, neither Solon nor Plato explicitly mentioned the island sinking. Solon's Atlantis was located in a place called Nessus, which in ancient Greek could mean an island or an area surrounded by wetlands. Additionally, Plato's description of the destruction, a place ships could not reach, is quite peculiar. But if we combine it with the priest's initial mention of the seas being navigable at that time, it seems to suggest that after the catastrophe, the area where the League of Kings was located became a sea region impassable by ships. But what kind of sea region becomes unnavigable? Does it really mean the seafloor? Explorer Jimmy believes it might not refer to the actual seafloor, but to a massive catastrophe that occurred in the Sahara Desert. Why would Herodotus mark Atlantis in the Sahara Desert of today? It's likely because he believed the ancient Egyptian priests who indicated that Atlantis was indeed located in the desert. Carefully examining Herodotus's map, starting from the Egyptian capital of Thebes and moving west for 10 days, brings you to Ammonai, then 10 days west to Agila, another 10 days to the populous city of Garamantes, and then 10 days to Atarantes. 10 days further west, you would reach the ancient land of Atlas Atlantis. Therefore, based on the travel distance and map coordinates, Jimmy deduces that the Atlantis on the map could be linked to an ancient tribe known as the Maori, who might still remember some ancient secrets. All right, that's it for today's podcast. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe if you're new here. See you in the next episode.